My dog, Sean Kingston, beautiful girl. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. What up, Brittany B? Sean Kingston is out of jail. Check it out.
Breaking news right now at 9:30. Singer and rapper Sean Kingston bonded out of jail in Broward County about 15 minutes ago.
Let's get right to CBS News Miami's Larry Seward live in Fort Lauderdale. Larry, you were there when Kingston walked out of jail.
I was there, and members of his family. We saw his mom, we saw his sister. He had personal security. There were a couple of other people. They were not interested in talking with us, but they were celebrating Sean Kingston as he walked out. And I want to show you, take a listen. This is the moment Sean Kingston, also known as Keshawn Anderson, walked out of the Broward County Jail just minutes ago. Sean, did you steal jewelry? Sean, did you steal furniture? Sean, did you defraud people?
All right, what are we at?
Did you run a scheme? Did you run a scheme to defraud people?
Watch your step! Oh, watch your step! Yeah.
That is a little bit of the exchange. We tried to ask him questions over and over again for about 3 or 4 minutes. The only question that he answered was as he was getting in the Maybach that pulled up to take him away. I asked him if he owned that Maybach or if it's rented, and he told me it is mine. Check the license plate. He is facing felony charges. He's accused of running an organized scheme to
Listen, I believe that everything is a play. Even though he is out here and even though he's out of jail and stuff, it just seems like a play to me. You know what I'm saying? It seems like okay, look, it's a lot of people that call the paparazzi out when they go outside in order to make themselves seem even more relevant than they really are, right? Like, some people ain't really being looked at. Some people is really wanting to be private. I seen a video of Ben Affleck yesterday. And Ben Affleck was like trying to get out the way. He don't like being photographed, ask questions about his relationship. Like, that's a real celebrity type dude. And I'm not saying that the dude not relevant, but all of the extra, like, why the mama out the car? Why a dude out and he giving dap out when he, like, how come it just don't, like, ain't nobody trying to mob you like that? You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like clout chasing in a way. And all of the extra. It's like, this is one of the reasons why you got in this situation in the first place.
Fraud, grand theft, as well as several other charges. His mom is also facing charges. She is a co-defendant in this. He was arrested last week in California as he was preparing for, or as he was at a concert at Fort Irwin out there in California. His mom was arrested at the home Kingston rents in Southwest Ranches. Her case is separate from Sean. He has been locked in the jail here in Broward County since Sunday. His lawyer yesterday told us that he was extradited after signing papers that he was coerced into signing. That's immaterial now as he's back here in Broward. He was able to post bond $10,000 his family had to put up. They had to prove that this money was not stolen. A judge certainly signed off on that. And again, he was released from jail here in Broward around 9:15, saying very little to us, did not answer any questions about the allegations, but he did walk away with his.
I don't think that that's unreasonable. The money that you post bail with, you got to prove that it's not stolen money. Anyways, that's Sean Kingston, still clout chasing in my opinion. I'm sure that we'll hear more about this, but the real question is whether or not he's going to do some time for it. We're going to get into that. Secondly, y'all been sending me this story and it's been flooding my emails, but shout out to y'all. A crossing guard is serving up middle school kids with e-cigarettes and the like. Check it out.
A crossing guard in Delaware County has been arrested. 26-year-old Kiara Lee is charged with giving marijuana and e-cigarettes to young students at Penwood Middle School.
Is that a person?
It is Wednesday night.
Hold on. Is that a little person?
Been arrested.
I was already shocked by and the name is Lee and got a whole mustache. Man, that's a pretty young man right there. Look, I don't care how early the show is. The level of wild behavior out here in these streets never get any less wild just because the show got earlier or whatever. I don't know what that is. What is that?
26-year-old Kiara Lee is charged with giving marijuana and e-cigarettes to young students at Penwood Middle School. It is.
And the cameraman know what they do. Cameraman, you wild. The cameraman is wild. What is going on? You knew what you was doing when you showed the full body of that. They be acting like they don't be knowing what they doing, but they be really
Wednesday night. Shari's off. Sarah Bloomquist is joining us. And the big story in Action News is the arrest of that crossing guard in Darby, Delaware County.
Authorities say along with giving kids marijuana, she was also contacting at least one student via text messages.
Action News reporter John Paul live in media tonight with the full story. John.
Yeah, Rick, Sarah, we talked to the Delaware District Attorney today, the Delaware County District Attorney here today, and he outlined all of those charges. We also know that crossing guard worked at a rec center with kids near the police department, and tonight police say that she gave drugs to a 14-year-old girl. Our cameras were there last night as police led 26-year-old Kiara Lee to a waiting van, her feet shackled. She faces a list of charges, including possession of drugs and corruption of minors.
A lot of times they just be trying to fit in. And that's not a joke. That's not a joke. The kids probably seen something Kiara Lee or Corora Lee. The kids probably seen Lee, let's just say Lee, because that was the name that was on a cover photo. Kids probably seen Lee as their peer, right? And so a lot of times they just be trying to fit in. Maybe we should be feeling more sorry for Lee, for giving the middle school students and texting them at the same time. I don't know. I mean, how much harm could Lee really do outside of serving up that work? You know what I'm saying?
Investigators say she used her position as a crossing guard at an intersection near Penwood's Middle School to get close to kids and gave at least one child edible marijuana.
She's supposed to be, as you said, a crossing guard protecting children. Instead, she's using that position to get to know children and then sharing harmful products.
The Delaware County District Attorney says they are looking to see if more kids got drugs from Lee. In the affidavit obtained by Action News, at least 4 kids were interviewed by police.
You can imagine a child who's taken edible marijuana and is sitting in a classroom is not exactly paying attention, becoming an A student.
According to investigators, Lee gave a vape to the child as well and even texted with her about her experience after taking marijuana. We know that Lee also worked at a rec center nearby and was known in the community.
I do know exactly who you're talking about, and I always see her on that side.
Who don't know who Lee is? Everybody know who Lee is inside of the community. You can't miss him.
McD and Summit.
We talked to one mom picking her son up from Penwood Middle School today. She was surprised by what the crossing guard was accused of doing.
My reaction to it is another reason why I'm scared for my son to go here, and I'm glad that he graduated.
Back out here live now. Police are looking into this, especially since that she had so much access to children, having worked at that nearby rec center. So, Sarah, tonight they're asking parents to call them if they might have any information about other victims who may be out there. We're live tonight in media. John Paul.
I know some guys that'll still see that through. I ain't lying. I know it's some guys online that'll still see that through. You ain't gonna fool me. Nope. I think that Lee would definitely get it from a lot of these crazy dudes out here. They go, man, she a grown woman. I know. Beard and all. Last but not least, Tiffany Henyard. Now, you know that we're not going to do a whole segment on Tiffany today. I'm kind of tired of Tiff. I ain't even going to lie to you. I'm a little bit more tired of Tiff than maybe everybody else. I know Tiff is tired of Tiff too. But J.B. Pritzker, the governor of New York, decided that he wanted to join in on the conversation, or the governor of Illinois, decided that he wanted to join in on the conversation and give his comments because he was questioned about what was happening in Dolton. Well, of course he's questioned because he's the governor of Illinois, which basically oversees what's happening in Dolton. And so J.B. Pritzker has been eerily quiet this entire time, has never spoken on anything that's happening in Dolton. Always got something to say about the migrant crisis. Always got something to say about what's happening in Chicago. Justifiably, Chicago is the largest city inside of Illinois. But he's never said anything about Dolton. Well, they asked him about it, and this is what he had to say.
Governor, are you monitoring what's going on in Dolton and Thornton Township and leadership there? Are you concerned? Taxpayers seem very worried. There's chaos at meetings. What can be done? Could you play a role in stepping in some way? What's your take on the situation?
So I've looked at that question, whether the state should and can play a role. The federal authorities, as you may know, are involved and investigating. I've read that. I think that's a public piece of information. There is an investigation that's been called for, and now I know there was a veto that was overridden that will now allow that investigation to go forward with former.
Basically, he giving the tea. He said, listen, it's a federal investigation happening. We know this, we know that, or whatever. He basically giving us the alley-oop to say Tiff is going to be locked up and going to jail. That's my translation of what he's saying right now.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot in charge of that. I think that those are two pretty good authorities for looking into this, investigating it, and getting to the truth.
And the state, when you look into it?
We'll support them. Well, we looked at whether we ought to put resources, whether it's state police and their anti-corruption efforts, or asking the Attorney General. The reality is that there are already two pretty significant investigations going on, and so we'll support them in every way that we can. But it's really just a matter of, do you want everybody running over each other in those investigations, or do you want two concerted efforts toward getting the facts?
That's pretty crazy if you think about it. A small-time mayor, which we discovered her by basically laughing at the fact that she was out there trolling and absolutely tearing up her own city. But we didn't know to what extent she was tearing up her own city. We just thought that she looked like Lil Wayne with a wig on. But it's absolutely insane to think that it has translated now in the middle of the year in 2024. We discovered her in 2023. But now it's a concerted effort and basically an investigation by multiple different federal agencies, including the state, to determine whether or not this woman just absolutely just ruined everything that was happening over in Dolton, Illinois. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits.